in the heck? Hello? Hello? Is this thing on? Pew. I think so. Hope so. Oh. It is. It's working. Nice. Sorry I'm 11 minutes late. I'm 4 minutes early. Typically start at 7:15 Mountain Time, 9:15 Eastern, but since I wanted to spend an extra few minutes with my wifey tonight before she went to bed, I said I'll start 15 minutes early, and then I did. But then I didn't. I was live at 7, so technically that's true. But I was also not live at 7, which you witnessed for the last 11 minutes. Thank you, all 89 of you, for being here already. I'm sure that there were others who came and went. Like a good Cinemax movie. Bill Kavanaugh's in the house. My mom is here. Hi, Mother. Randall Erickson's in the house. Jason Kobe, musical genius. Jason Kobe's here. Little Barry is here. Oh, what's up, little Barry? Little friggin' Barry. Hollywood Marine. Yeah. Gaspa 911. Hi, all. Happy Friday time for some ADHD goodness. Cheers, y'all. That's right. Tonight's not going to be a super long live stream because tomorrow morning I'm getting on a flying vessel and headed to Bourbon, Missouri for a couple days. So I packed half of my stuff earlier in the week, and I never do that because I was excited to go. And then I didn't pack the other half. The harder half. So I need to do that tonight. I need to spend some time with the family before I head out. Missing my daughter's first softball game tomorrow. I didn't get her schedule until we had the trip already planned, but she's upset. And I'm like, there's so many more. There's so many more. You're terrible anyway. That's a joke. She's not great. But she's going to get better. She just started. And it's so cute. She's going to be wearing all the softball stuff. It's so cute. First sip of the night, we'll get into what we're doing. But like I said, we're going to just get right started. We're getting started quickly. Yeah. Eric B is here. My mic isn't off. Suck it, friggin' Jason. Joe the Sample Guy, Beef Ribs is here. Chris Miller. What's happening? I said 4 minutes. And I did it because I was live at like 7:10 or 11. I think I was correct at the 4 minutes. Music is gone. That's fine, isn't it? Isn't that fine? Chris is here. Look at that. Look who that is. Bourbon friggin' sane. Oh man, it's good to see his face. He quit his job as a pharmacist. He murdered all the animals on his farm. And he started talking about whiskey again. Probably not true. Dara's here. What's up, Dara? Steve Szymanski, Brandon friggin' Sprague. Give Jared a hug for me. I will. Give him a great big hug. Are you going to unload the barrel truck for Matt Bunch while you're there? I will. Listen. If I have the opportunity to do any of his work, I will do it to the best of my ability. And I'll sweat profusely so he thinks that I'm working extra hard. But it's just not the case. I just sweat profusely anyway, especially when I get into some humidity. Humidity and me, I'm wet. Damn, though. Well, listen, I don't know the whole story. I just assumed the best. 100% correct. Videotape the bunch work. Okay, I can do that. Just walking around being a sexy Matt. I'm bringing sexy Matt. I have a blind pour that I already poured. I promise you I don't know what it is. If you don't believe me, I don't care. But I'll show you what it is. It's in here. This is what we do. We get in focus. And then I open my hand. And then I let you view it. but don't spoil it. If you spoil it, then you suck. Anybody? Hopefully you could see it. I'm not sure which way the label is facing, but back in here. Okie dokie. I have a whole bunch of freaking media samples, media bottles that I need to get to. 13th Century. I have to get to those tonight because I've had them for a while. Man, I got these dark arts yesterday. One of them is a Bourbon Junkies blend, and one of them is it's Bourbon Night blend. And apparently they want to like do a vote on which one is better or something. So maybe I think I will do that because I put it in the thumbnail. So I should probably do it since I said I was gonna do it. But then also, I have this Luxro small batch, straight bourbon whiskey finished in Alberino casks. Alberino. I'm guessing that's some sort of a wine, but the color on this is pretty light. It's a pretty light color. It's a pretty light color, if you know what I mean. Like, look at it. Man, I got this. It's pretty sure this was just released. It's Jacob's Pardon 18-year small batch American whiskey here. 18 years old, 142.7 proof. But look at the sample date on it. This is what's confusing to me. Sample date, April 18th, 23. So they pulled the sample 2 years ago. Did they pull it from a tank? Did they have it tanked for 2 years before they released it? I don't know. That's a question I should have asked them. Weird. Then these came today. The UPS guy the other day was like, not much whiskey lately, huh? Now he's like, wow, look at all this. This Derby Town. This is from Pursuit United. Beautiful label. I love that label. That's my style label right there. It's all like old school. I love an old school label. And then Melwood. It's another Pursuit Spirits label. Distilled and bottled and bombed. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. So I got all this stuff. And only a matter of time. All right, let's get into this blind one. Then we'll do the rest. Bourbon. Possibly. By the way, Matt Madness 2025 starts next Friday. And I'm pumped. I'm super pumped. I think I'm like actually so pumped that I might be in a better mood because of it. It's kind of like a weight's being lifted off my shoulders because it's been a while. It's been a while. So yeah, kicking it off next Friday. If you are a channel and you haven't received if I haven't asked you yet to be in Matt Madness, it doesn't mean you won't be asked because all my bracket spots aren't full yet. I'm building the bracket as I go. I had to start it. And I started it the only way I knew how. Just do it. So I think there's still a few spots left that for people who, if I've asked you and you've said yes recently, then I just need to ask for a date still. But if you haven't been asked, then it doesn't mean you won't be. And also, Sam's Whiskey Bar, you son of a bitch. You nailed me back. I just get what I deserve. Old oaky. Oh, but delicious, nice aged oak on here. We're putting this baby 12 plus, right out of the gate. 12 plus on the nose. Yeah. Ooh. There's like a little bit of orange citrus. Little bit of dusting spray, like pledge or whatever. Like it's like a lemony scent. Has a little bit of a pledge to it. Still getting over this cold. Strep throat. Strep throat apparently is going around a lot. Kid has it. I have it. Been on antibiotics, trying to get better. So when I go to freaking Missouri this weekend, I can taste. I don't want to go there and just be a 300-pound plane ticket. You know what I mean? Like, just chewing, just trying to take some work off your plate. Just trying to take some work off my plate. Happy to review some of those media bottles. Just saying, oh shit, yeah, Chris, I owe you, what, three years worth of samples. When did you stop? You stopped. Gosh, it was. I remember the old demic started, and you got really busy with work. I remember that. And your long days turned into longer days, and the longer days turned into even longer days, and then bought a freaking farm, and you sailed off into the sunset, into manure. You sailed off into hay and manure. And I would imagine your crotch smells like a horse's back. So it must have been, gosh, mid-2020 or early 2021 that you stopped. So it's been a few years. It's been a few. Welcome back. Oh, I missed you. Not exactly great timing on your part, considering when you stopped, whiskey tube was peaking. It was like going up to its peak. And now that bourbon is kind of like, the market is sort of like dropping, you're back. So great timing. Overall 10. Nice. And on the old amoxicillin. Weird. They give children and adults the same dose of amoxicillin. I didn't know that. And I tried to play pharmacist, and Chris would know. Jeez Louise, I'm talking to him right now. I was like, why do I get the same amount that my 8-year-old gets? Feels like either overkill for her or it's not going to work for me because I'm huge. Little cherry goodness. Huh. Trying to put a pin on a distillery here. And I'm not quite able to do it yet. But it is a sweet oak, which reminds me a little bit of a Buffalo Trace product, but not exactly in that perfect point where I can guarantee it. But man, it smells good. Like, as it warms in my hand, the vanillas start to aromatate a bit. Yeah, I think that I'm spoiling myself right out of the gate here tonight, I would imagine. I don't know. Let's give it a sip. Cheers, everybody. Very good. Hells yeah. Matt Madness right around the corner. Ding. Down the hatch. Damn, that is good. Whoa. That's got to be very expensive. The mouthfeel on this thing is like ideal. It is clean. It's a clean pour. Creamy, oily, no peaks and valleys. It's not like a dip in or peaking. It's not pointy or jagged. It's just this super well-rounded, like if you were developing a roller coaster on either some sort of engineering program like SolidWorks, or you're just doing it on a video game, like Build a Death Coaster today, the game. It has the perfect, like, oh man, they're going to love this ride kind of slope to it. Proof? I don't know. 110? 110? Old. Older than 12? Possibly. 14? was a big first sip. Second sip. Lower proof. 100. Man, that is right in my wheelhouse. It's all the best bourbon flavors. The brown sugars and the burnt brown sugars and the caramels, the vanillas. It's just your quintessential, stole that word from Jason, bourbon. I love that. It's really hard to put things in the high 8s, not knowing what it is, just blind. But it's just based off what I'm tasting today. It is phenomenal. It's a phenomenal pour. 8.85 today. Maybe I'm just in the mood for whiskey. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I guess when I reveal it, I'll find out if I'm being ridiculous or if this is this good of a whiskey. Parker's Heritage. Okay. Well, Parker's Heritage 2024, 107 proof, 14 years old. Oh, man. That really, when I start the stream with, I don't know what it is, and if you don't believe me, kiss my ass kind of thing. And then I basically say 14 years old and 110 proof. And it's 14 years old, 107 proof. It makes me look like a liar, but I guess I'm just that good. Bill Kavanaugh sample. Thank you, Bill Kavanaugh. Parker's Heritage 2024. Parker's Heritage. It is an expensive bottle. I got that right on the nose. But Heaven Hill Distillate, 14-year, 107 proof. That is a really, really good bottle. Thank you, Bill, for sending that. That's crazy good. Probably shouldn't have tasted that before I got into the other things tonight, but sometimes we do things backwards. Hell yeah. It's weird how the nuttiness ages out of Heaven Hill Distillate at that 12-plus year mark. Which is why we bitch and complain about Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. And I saw the Junkies video about, I think it was A125. And they said the same thing. That, listen, I love the guys. I love them. I'd marry them if I weren't already married. And, just because I love them so much. But they were like, people get caught up with the age statement on the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. And then they said, if it tastes good, who cares? But the problem is, when the age statement directly correlates with the flavor profile, that's the issue. If they're putting younger bourbon in the blend, there is a distinct nutty profile in Heaven Hill stuff that it's just so present until it ages out. And it doesn't do that until we start getting 12 plus. This 14-year Parker's Heritage is phenomenal. But if it were Parker's Heritage 10-year, it would have a different profile. It'd be friggin' nutty. And that's the best part about age statements, is you kind of understand what things taste like when they get a certain age. I don't care how old they are. Doesn't matter. If I love it, I love it. But shut up, Creative Cloud. I'm talking. I'm making a solid point. What was I saying? Crap. That's all it takes. One little ding from the computer. That's all it takes. If I like it, I like it. But the age statement gives me information that I can then use to determine whether or not I'm going to like something, right? Like MGP ages different than Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace ages different than Beam. Beam ages different than Heaven Hill. So when I see a Heaven Hill product that's either weeded or not weeded, a bourbon, then I know, oh, when it gets, if it's going to be a 13 or 14-year Heaven Hill product, probably going to love it. If it's a 10-year product, 11-year product, I'm like, I don't know. And then every time I taste it, I'm like, there it is. There's that friggin' nuttiness. And it's just like it matures. It's like it got its driver's license. And where did it go? Its first trip? Directly out of the nut house. Just drove away from it. Don't blame it. That's what I'd do if I were 13 or 14. Breaking stuff. Oh, boy. The Kentucky malt? Is Parker's Heritage? Whoa. Parker's Heritage 2024 is a malt? What? What? Okay. So I don't know what I'm talking about. There's that. He knows what he does. Dude, no idea. That isn't you know, it's hilarious. So while I'm talking and trying to come up with words, there's also like things happening in my mind that aren't coming out of my mouth. So the entire time I'm thinking, is my palate back from being sick? Like, do I got this? I don't know if I got this. You know, then when I reveal it, I'm like, shit, I definitely got this. Turns out, not so sure. It's a malt. Hey, Bill. Oh, man. Still really good. That's still really good today. Jeez Louise. Kentucky malt. Yeah. Oh, it's like the exceptional series. It's like the rare character exceptional series. Those Kentucky malts. That makes sense. Jason, I can't even be mad at you. By the way, this year's Matt Madness music is going to be absolutely bonkers. It's already, we haven't even started yet, and I have these music files that I am just itching to share because they're so good. We're talking like really good. So, although Matt Madness might look a little bit different without David and Kira being involved, I think that there's still some David music coming, and then with a new scorer, since Shayla lives in who in the hell knows where now, which is a bummer. Just know that the core of Matt Madness, which is me, still there. And the music is inspired by a musical genius who is basically, what would you call it? Like, if here's MJ, right? There's Jordan, and then that man, my goat. Then there's Kobe. It's like Kobe emulated MJ, right? He studied his game. He spent hours and hours in the gym and hours studying film so that he could emulate MJ. Jason Kobe is Kobe. Holy shit. That's hilarious. And I didn't realize it until it just came out of my mouth. Jason Kobe is Kobe. And David is MJ. Phenomenal shit coming. So good. Nutty Rant was still solid. 65 barley, 35 corn. Okay. That's damn good. That is damn good. Independent Joe, I need to reach out to you to find out what day you can Matt Madness it up. Kitchen clock sounds dirty, but it's not. It's just a device. Cannot wait for Matt Madness. Me either. I'm so pumped. A musical genius he is. Hit the thumbs up. That's right. Hit the damn thumbs up. Next, we're going to get into these 13th colony, 13th century. Apologize. I tried not to screw it up, and I tried so hard that I screwed it up. 3 13th century bottles. 13th century. They are here in Colorado. This is one bottle. Beautiful. This is also is this the right? Yeah, this is a straight American single malt. It's 67.2% ABV, 134.4 proof. Mash bill, 100% malt, distilled from grain, and they do custom mash bills from Ross and Squiggles. So they do custom mash bills from MGP. Then they age them in Colorado in various size barrels. This is 100% malt. Very, very high proof. All of their stuff is like extremely high proof. And I'm guessing that's because it's aged, a lot of it in small barrels, but in this dry Colorado climate, that water must just evaporate out of the barrel. Kind of like Boulder Spirits, their bourbon is like through the roof with proof. Aged in new char 2, 3, 4, 5. So char 2, char 3, char 4, and char 5 American white oak, 30-gallon barrels. 100% aged and bottled in Colorado, USA. They're inside of it, there's a barrel. You can like look at that, the bottom of it. Like I think I'll pour all 3 of these. And then, so the first one is a malt. The second one is the colors on these 2 are ridiculous. This is a toasted barrel bourbon whiskey, straight bourbon finished in new char 1 heavy toasted American white oak, 53-gallon barrel. Also, it's aged originally in the char 2, char 3, char 4, and char 5 American white oak 30-gallon barrels, and then finished in char 1 heavy toasted American white oak and 53-gallon barrel. 140 proof. Look at the color on this. It is, and there's a glass still inside these bottles. America. Their rye whiskey and their bourbon whiskey are both really, really good. And I'm not sure if they distribute outside of Colorado, but I do see these on store shelves in the rectangular state I live in. Once I moved to Colorado, I was going to like make a thumbnail with an outline of Colorado. And then I realized how moving from Michigan, where the outline of Michigan is very beautiful and it stands out and you know what state it is by looking at it. Colorado's not one of those states. Colorado looks like a kindergarten geometry problem. Kindergarten geometry problem. Is that what I said? It's just a rectangle. America. 13th century switched to the synthetic corks, which I appreciate. This is color on that. It's basically, now you see me? Now you don't. Now you see me? Now you don't. This is their cigar blend bourbon reserve whiskey. Oh, like look at the color on that toasted. Good grief. The cigar blend is just like the other 2, aged in, this is aged in new char 4 and char 5 American white oak barrels, 30-gallon. And then finished in a new char 1 heavy toasted American white oak barrel. Why is it the cigar blend then? Oh, char one heavy toasted. And the toasted is char one heavy. What's the difference? The cigar blend is 70.1 proof. Huh. Mash bill on the toasted is custom blend from MGP, 88 corn, 7 rye, and 5 malted barley. And same mash bill for the cigar blend. Wonder if there's just... So just based off the label, the only difference that I can see is the toasted is originally aged in char 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the cigar blend is aged in char 4 and 5, new char 4 and 5. I think that's it. Unless there's other differences that just aren't on the label. So it goes in order: the malt, the toasted, the cigar. All right, let's get to chat and then get to that. Ooh. So I know I tasted these, or maybe one of them or two of them on a live stream previously, maybe one of them. But the bottles have opened up a bit now, so this is a fair assessment. Knowing that this is a single malt, I can smell that. But it has a very sticky quality to it. Like sap, like a sappy malt. Like I could picture this coming out of a tree and licking it. If it were a malt tree that's sapped. There are actually some like wintergreeny notes on the nose too. Almost like a gum. Oh, Matt's Off-Road Recovery. I watch this channel sometimes. I don't know why. I don't off-road and I don't recover. Have I been stuck before? Sure. But it's just a great channel. Matt's Off-Road Recovery. Family out of Utah. They just go and get people unstuck. He was, in one of the videos, he was like taking stuff off of a tree. And he called it some kind of gum. And they just chewed on it. And it crunched. And then they just chewed on it. And apparently it's like a flavor that acquired taste. And I can picture this being that. Even though I've only seen it on Matt's Off-Road Recovery. Not a sponsor. Or anything. Got a good name, though. Yeah, it smells like tree gum. Down the hatch. Oh, whoa. Wow. That is a flavor bomb. That is a Matt Madness bottle. That is a Matt Madness bottle for sure. Super unique. That's not something I reach for. It wouldn't be something I reach for all the time. It is definitely like because I'm not normally like a Scotch drinker or a single malt drinker. But when it comes to like an American single malt, that blows the roof off the place. You can taste the single malt profile, but it's kind of like buried under all of these barrel notes and wood notes and sticky, like molassesy sweet, like tree notes. It tastes like a friggin' sticky tree in a very good way. I know it might not sound great, but yeah. If you ever walk through the woods and the trees are leaking, it's kind of what that reminds me of. I like that. I like it. It's like I said, it's not something, if like you watch my channel and you buy stuff based off of what I love. I would say that if you want something that is a single malt, but you want it hazmat pretty much, and something that's going to just rock your socks and not overly malty, which is hard to believe considering it's 100% malt, I would look for that if you can find it. It's available where you are. I think most of these are usually around $100 also. That's what I've seen. One of my locals has Parker's on the shelf for not in this lifetime. Yeah. Oh, I've got way too late, or went up way too far. Jeez Louise. Is your hand completely fisting the bottle? Yeah. Yep. It is. It's a big opening at the bottom. Is it really 750 milliliters in 13th century bottles? Yeah, I mean it's fat. It's wide. You know, it's like that's a Glen. So it's a fat bottle. But yeah, it says 750 milliliters. And but there's a big ass. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Land ho. Wasn't sure I was going to like that. Pleasantly surprised. Now let's go to the toasted bourbon. The color on that is absolutely bonkers. The toasted bourbon. Ooh. Now, if you know me, you know that I'm not a giant fan of toasted or double-barreled bourbons. They just have this aspartame effect on me where it feels like fake oak. So going into this is like, you never know. Probably not gonna. I don't have high expectations for anything double oaked or toasted oak with like new charred oak and like heavy toast. We'll see. Smells surprisingly grapey. A bit of like tobacco. Like a if Alec Bradley, the finest cigars on the planet. If you're not smoking Alec Bradley cigars, then you're ridiculous. You probably should start. Unless, of course, that's not up your alley. But if it is up your alley, then you'd be ridiculous for not smoking Alec Bradley cigars. If Alec Bradley made like you know what? It smells like a cigar dipped in like a red wine. Yeah. I'm not sure if you could light it after that. But it's like a red wine dipped cigar. I'm not picking up on any of the typical lumberyard notes or like lacquer varnishy notes that I typically get on a toasted product, which is nice. Wait, no, I lied. Right when I said that, my left nostril came in like a G and picked it up. It's there. But I think that the 30-gallon barrels that these are originally aged in, which typically, again, not a fan. There's something about the climate here and those barrels that works, which makes me wonder if 291 didn't use the aspen, if 291 used the smaller barrels like they do, but avoided the aspen staving stuff, if like what their whiskey would taste like, because same climate, smaller barrels, don't love 291. Can't help it. The more I nose it, the more I'm starting to get into the territory of things I don't absolutely love. But there are a lot of you out there who would kill for a friggin' hazmat double-barreled bourbon or toasted bourbon. And knowing that, and I'm not quite sure how this works. If I like it, does that mean that people who love the toasted profile wouldn't like it? Or does that mean that the people who love the toasted profile would like it more? Hard to say. That is a big boy. You're a big boy. Big girl. Back it up. Back it up. That's big and powerful. That is Yokozuna from the top rope. Right in your face. That's huge. Huh. You know what I want to do? Actually, only to be fair. What do I got? I have Jason Kobe songs running through my head like wild, and I want to start singing them out loud, but if I do it, I'll ruin it. Because they're so good. Toasted. It's gotta be something. Well, that won't work. Let's see. Must have some. No floor whiskey that's toasted or double oaked? What in the world's going on? Ooh. I have an idea. Bear with me. This is a rye whiskey, but it will suffice. This is Jack Daniel's Distillery Series Straight Tennessee Rye, finished in high toast oak barrels. What I want to do is make sure that I'm picking up on the toasted note correctly, because if I go off saying that something doesn't have a strong toasted profile, and it's just my current palate telling me that, then I don't want to be inaccurate. I don't want to be saying things that are not true. That smells good. Oh my gosh. Does the new me like toasted stuff? Oh my gosh. Does the post recurrent strep throat Matt like toasted stuff? Oh. Whoa. There it is. Wow. No, thank you. Okay. It smelled so good. That tastes. That's. Nope. Nope. That is. Oh, man. I do. That's okay. We're good. We are totally good. You can, Jason, your 7:39 comment. Holy shit! 16 minutes ago, kindergartners aren't doing geometry. But Kyle, that was the point. The point is that if they were, that would be a kindergarten geometry problem. It's a rectangle. You know, it's like. Sorry. Oh, boom! Boom! Eric B. My kindergartner is. Circle that. Pop-hound, rhamboid, rhambozoid, whatever. Does barrel-aged Fireball make an appearance in Matt Madness? I don't know, Dylan. I don't know. Bourbon Kitty is here. What's up, Bourbon Kitty? Josh Combe, just want to say I'm sipping on the final flight pick. Best turkey product I've had tasted. It's amazing. Dude, right? It's so... I am so mad at myself because... I have a settings problem that I need fixed, but I also have a mental problem that doesn't allow me to fix shit. If I could snap my fingers and get all the notifications that get on my phone that I don't want turned off and all the notifications I want on my phone turned on, that would be great. What I'm upset about is I did not get the Alec Bradley Russells that was picked that day, and I didn't get the Junkies Russells that was picked that day because they were all great. But I would love to compare them now. The only one that I couldn't compare that makes sense is the Junkies because they waited until the afternoon to get a barrel from a second lot of barrels that, I had already chosen my barrel. So I think that they planned that ahead. Those sons of bitches. Super smart, though. Super smart. But, yeah, I agree. The final flight is... do I have that here? On the floor? Nope. Oh, here it is. Nope, that's a Junkies pick. It's a Tyrone. Last year I picked Tyrone K. Which one was Final Flight? Tyrone. Anyway, I keep picking the Tyrone warehouses. They hit me the right way. Twice now. Matt's off-road is forced on us all by the algorithm. Is that what it is? Like, dude, how do I get there? How do I get, I missed that, or I screwed up somehow. Maybe I might have done something that maybe got me not shown to people because my channel doesn't get shown to new people. If I look at my analytics, I get shown to a lot of my viewers, but not new people. So literally, I've grown and lost in terms of myself a lot over the last few years where the channel is growing slowly. I wish I could grow like that. Personally, my size. But yeah, wonder how they get into that algorithm. Matt's off-road recovery is great viewing. Heavy D Sparks, yeah, from the Diesel Brothers. Heavy D, I watched him before Matt's off-road recovery. Cletus McFarland, yeah. Demo Ranch, different Matt, yeah. Demolition Ranch is gone, apparently. The three Matts have all the bases covered: whiskey, shooting, and off-roading. There's probably so many more Matts who do so many other cool things. Matt McCusker. Name sounds familiar, but I'm not quite sure. Meat Church. What did I just try? What time did you ask me? 7:55. That was the Jack Daniels. Where the hell did I put it? I have a mess. I have as big of a mess as in my head. That is, if you could see what my garage looks like, that is what my brain looks like. Disaster. That's why getting Matt Madness started is such a load off my shoulders, because it's one less thing. Like Forrest Gump said, got a call. You didn't have to worry about money no more. One less thing. Matt Madness getting started is a load off my shoulder. Maybe I'll get some of this mess cleaned up. Maybe I'll do some other things that are looming over me, like a friggin' wall cloud. Shout out to all of you in the Midwest and South with storms in your friggin' area. Holy crap. I started watching Max Velocity, a weather channel on YouTube. And, geez, that dude streams for like 14 hours straight. But you couldn't do it if he was drinking. Just saying. I'll get you a sample of Dan and Sean's. Dan and Sean's what? Damn it, I wish I knew what you were talking about. Brandon, if you're still here, put in chat what you're talking about. Jim and Sally, what's up, dude? What are the spring releases we should be looking for now? Fantastic question. And I want everybody in chat to spam the spring releases that we should be looking for so that I can be looking for them too. At some point, I get overwhelmed and there's so much that I don't know what to do anymore. I see stuff in the store and I'm like, is this something I should know about already or not? I don't know if it's going to slow down or not, but just went to the off-road games. Matt's the off-road games. I saw on their channel they're doing that. Irish ice. Irish ice. No, that's not it. Irish ice. No, Irish ice. That's quite not it either. But I appreciate you. I love you back. I did notice that there was my last video, the stag video, which a little bit of a clickbait, but not really. The title of the video was I bought the brand new stag. I don't remember the rest of the title, but I did buy the brand new stag to get the first video, the very first. I did do that, but when I realized, then I realized later I didn't do that, but I did do that. In my mind, I bought the brand new stag, and I was going to have the first video released. Turns out it wasn't the new stag. It was the stag from this time of the year last year. I forgot that it was a new year, momentary lapse in brain activity. And so was it clickbait? Sure. But at the same time, not really, because it's the truth. But anyway, that video got some new viewers because 6 comments, I think, saying that my videos had the SLB drinks, like credits music in my video. And I know that any comments like that are new viewers. Been using the music since 2019. But helps the algorithm, I guess. They commented, and I thumbed it up. Average Drinker says, same for us, son of a bitch. Not quite sure what you're talking about. Damn it. Dara, what are you talking about? By the way, Dara and Bill, power couple. Friggin' power couple. Followed you a few months ago, so it works slowly. It does. It's a slow. And also, I'm not for everybody, you know? I don't even know if I'm for me. If I tuned into myself, what I would say. Probably wouldn't say it publicly, unless I did it under an alias. Who knows what Slippin' Jimmy would say, or Jimmy McGill. Okay, now I'm on the cigar blend. Oh no, I wanted to taste the toasted one more time. I didn't finish the toasted tasting. If I tasted this blind, I don't know what I would think. Oh, there's a finish. Okay. It's unique. I think that if I were to taste it blind, I would say it's a bourbon. I'm not positive. It is very sweet, but there's a ton of different oak notes that pop in and out. They jump in, they jump out, but the finish is kind of where I get the most of that secondary barreling flavor profiles on the finish. But before that, before I tasted that on the finish, I was really like, oh, very unique, like box. This is your palate. And it was like different flavors in and then out, in and out. There are woody notes. There are different like woody flavor notes. Kind of unexpected, and the way that it transitioned on the palate was really unique. Again, would I go for this every day? Like if I wanted to sip something, would I reach for this? Probably not, just because, like I said at the beginning, the double barreled stuff is not usually something I'm looking to taste when I want to taste something. The 140 proof point, shit. If I wanted like hell, I want to get the party started off right, or I'm just in the mood for a power punch to the face, and it was staring at me, I'd grab it. That's not to say that it's... I have a hard time scoring things that are toasted or double barreled because you have to look at it through my eyes, and it's like, this is... When I judge things for the ascots, I really have to put on my non-biased hat. And my non-biased hat, the hat that's like, doesn't matter what you think. If you just look at this an overview of it, both the single malt and the toasted are really good. I don't know what they would taste like with water added to them, and I'm not sure like what types of impurities or like problems that would show their faces once it's watered down a bit, but they're not watered down. They're friggin' hazmat. So what you're tasting are very powerful notes, but nothing that's like off-putting. There's nothing that's like showing signs of a bad whiskey. They're very, very good whiskeys, but they're just not something that I typically reach for. And when I judge things for an awards thing like the Ascots, I have to put on that hat. On the channel, I put on the other hat. So when you see my scoring system, that's like, this is like how I feel. That way your palate can align with mine. If I didn't do that, if I just put on the overview hat instead of the matte hat, then you would never know if you'll like it or not, if that makes sense. So when you look at this scoring system, that's not it. That's friggin'. Why is that still there? I was going to delete it, but then I might use it again. Kind of like the piece of wood that's sitting in the garage that I'll never use, but maybe one day. Here it is. That's through my lens. You know what I mean? I would put these in the high 7s because they are very good, but they're just not something that I would reach for. If this were a tasting competition, they'd receive higher scores. They would actually receive a better score in the Ascots than I would give them on the channel. And if that doesn't make sense, I totally get it. Okay, this is the cigar blend, which means higher charred barrels to begin with, and then finished in the same barrels that the toasted barrels were. Would this stand up to a cigar? Yeah, probably every single cigar that's ever been built. It's 140.2 proof, I think. 141.2 proof. Whoa. That's so strange. I feel like you can literally taste. That is like a super awesome comparison. Like if the only difference, from the label, what I see is that the cigar blend was originally just aged in char 4 and char 5 barrels, and then double oaked into the heavy toasted char 1. If the only difference is that's what's in the cigar, and the toasted is aged in a variety of char 1 to char 5, and then finished in the same barrels as the cigar blend, you can almost feel that on the palate that the cigar blend was aged originally in those heavier charred barrels, because this has more of this powerful, darker, deeper oak presence, whereas the toasted didn't. It was, if you just tasted the toasted, you'd be like, that's pretty friggin' intense. But going to the cigar, you're like, oh shit. It wasn't quite intense. It wasn't quite as intense as I thought, It's like having a Colorado winter and thinking it's bad, and then moving to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and saying, wow, my nipples have never been this hard. Just a different level of intensity. What I want to do is this, and I think it's fair. What time is it? 8? Oh shit, I've been live for an hour. Crap. I have a half hour left in me. I told Chris I'd be streaming for about an hour. But then I got talking. America. I want to taste. It's probably unfair, but what's the problem with that? 13th Colony. You know what? If I were, this says something, okay? If I were the owner of 13th Century Spirits, and I saw my whiskey going up against 13th. You couldn't write this story. 13th Colony versus 13th Century. Kind of funny, but going up against 13th Century, wow, 13th Colony, double oaked, is hard to do, right? Like, hard to win that fight. But the mere fact that I want to taste the cigar blend double oaked 13th Century at 140 proof against the 13th Colony says something, and should be happy with that. Like, I want to like entertain this battle. Kind of want to know how it plays out. Now, this is the 13th Colony. This is the 13th Century. Color-wise, 13th Colony, probably slightly darker, which is unbelievable. Okay. All right. Well, the 13th Colony has this berry note to it, the nose. It kind of smells like a Jack Daniels note, like the Jack Daniels red wine yeasty note. And that sets it apart from the 13th Century. The 13th Century is, smelling these side by side, the 13th Century is more barrel forward. The 13th Colony is more berry forward to the palate. 13th Century. Really good. I like that. I like that through my eyes and through the, like, in general, I think that's really good. The finish does kind of bring in that double oakedness. Oh man, the more it sits there, the more that comes out. But that's really damn good. It's hard to like pick apart something that is I like it a lot. The finish on both the toasted and the cigar blend make me go, because it's only at that moment that the flavor profile that I dislike from the toasted, the typical toasted profile, like, bears its face. But that's not saying, I mean, listen, I think I'm in the minority here, and that's all right. Let's go to the 13th Colony. Like I said, much more berry forward on the nose. Okay. 13th Colony is overall like a bolder, deeper, fruitier, like more ridiculous, robust whiskey. I don't know how they do it, but it's almost one of a kind for like its kind, right? It's a standout. The 13th Century cigar blend and the toasted. I'm gonna give the toasted some credit too. They're both, I would say, they're remarkable toasted or double barreled products. They're both toasted, but just me considering the fact that it could stand up to the 13th Colony says a lot. Does it knock over friggin' Goliath? No. Did it throw a rock in its direction with a rock throwing device? Shit. I wish I was, you know what? A sling? Did David sling us? What did he sling? Did he sling a stone? There's a stone slung in 13th Colony's direction, and that means something. If you love 13th Colony double oaked and you live in an area that sells 13th Century and you find the toasted or the cigar blend at 140 proof, or if you've never tasted 13th Century and you want something that is like in the same it's comparative, then I'd pick it up. It's it's a wild whiskey. The 13th century is a wild whiskey. It's not 13th colony, but I did want to taste them side by side because I wasn't sure. Every time I taste the 13th colony double oaked, it reminds me of holy shit. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, maybe this will be that, you know? Oh, maybe I haven't had it in a while. Maybe is this compared? Oh, wow, this is a different level. Shit. 13th colony is on another level, but 13th century stuff for roughly what, $100, give or take. So good. And I'm glad that they sent them. Will they be sent in Matt Madness blinds? Yes. Will they be sent to Bourbon Sane? This is the fun thing about Matt Madness. Because will I send it to Bourbon Sane? I don't know. I might. Will Chris wonder if he got it? Possibly. Was I supposed to mention the fact that Chris is in Matt Madness? No, I was not. That was my mistake. That was a problem. That's when I get talking too much. And I say things about, God damn it. Oh, will Chris be in Matt Madness? I don't know. I haven't asked him yet. Damn it. Oh, it's the worst when I do that. Let the cat out of the bag. But I didn't because he told me no. If you believe me. He told me absolutely not. Chris told me he wouldn't do it. Damn it. Why did I do that? This is why I edit videos. This is why when I went live, I said, don't ruin anything, Matt. Don't spoil anything. That's how that works. I'm 17 minutes behind in chat. Matt Porter's my spirit animal. I bought the brand new stag to have the very first review. I did. That's what I did. Turns out I just bought the wrong one. Can you explain what single malt is? Single malt is, that's a great, I mean, this one's 100% malt. But there is a difference between single malt and, you know what? I'm not embarrassed to say that I don't want to say things that, this is why I don't do like bourbon history or like whiskey history in my videos, because I'm afraid to say things incorrectly. There is a definition of what a single malt is, and if you Google it, you'll get it. But I feel uncomfortable reciting it or like defining it at the moment because I am afraid I will do it incorrectly. And when you do things incorrectly, you look like an idiot. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I am an idiot, and I could tell you what it means, but I'm afraid that there's a possibility I could have something wrong. Therefore, I would rely on probably Google just to tell you exactly what it means. Because there are a few variations of malts, single malt being one. And they have meanings that could be confusing. That's why I don't want to say, because when things are confusing, I get confused. Cheech uses the same scale. Scale is 0 to I don't like it, plus minus 1. Zero to I don't like it to I like it. That's good. You roast and good. I like that. That's a good one. I like that. I have a lot of bottles of the perfect score. Western Slope near Glenwood Springs. Between Glenwood and Grand Junction. Just cracked Dan's Dark Arts pick, and it's fantastic. So I think that the Bourbon Junkies did a pick from Dark Arts as well recently. Is that true? Because these aren't the picks. These are blends. The Dark Arts I have are blends. And now I'm 10 minutes past my hour, and I need to get into the freaking Dark Arts. Slingshot, that's what it was. Catapult, didn't use a catapult. Did not use a potato gun. Mystery taster revealed itself. I will never know a single thing. Absolutely not, and I hate you. I mean, sometimes you say things and you don't realize you said them until after you say them. What I wanted to say was this. The fun thing about Mad Madness is I say, will I send this? Will this be in Mad Madness? And if you watch the stream and you're in Mad Madness, there's a little seed is planted in the back of your head, so that when you taste something that's hazmat and possibly double oaked, you go, "Oh shit, is that the 13th century that Matt tasted that said might be a Mad Madness?" And that seed starts to grow. It starts to grow legs, or whatever the hell plants grow, and then develop some sort of a stem, which could be a trunk of a tree if it were a tree. And then that tree develops a shaft. It's probably not what it's called, but that's what I'm familiar with. And then that shaft grows branches, and the branches grow friggin' leaves. And the leaves turn green and then brown and then fall off. And that's what happens in Mad Madness competitors' heads when I say, this will be Mad Madness blend or Mad Madness bottle. It's a friggin' tree or plant life cycle. Bleed out. Okay, final two of the night. Oh man, I feel bad because I promised my wife it'd be quick, but she knows I'm. Never mind. Bad joke. 2 Dark Arts bottles. Damn it. How do I get these open? The plastic is too far down. Do I just rip it off? Oh, America. Oh, yeah. I ripped it right through the plastic. Yeah. Testosterone replacement therapy for you. Just don't even give a crap. I need 2 glasses that are not labeled with labels. 2. Okay. Here's one. Probably went in the wrong order because these are 100 proof. But the first one I poured, it's a heavy glass stopper. I like it. Is from Bourbon Junkies. It is a custom blend from the Bourbon Junkies. I think that Dan and Ryan Alves blended this together. I think. So that one is. I have a sticker available. Let's say. Green sticker. A green sticker for the Bourbon Junkies blend because I'm green with envy for all their success. And then this is a Dark Arts. It's Bourbon Night blend. Friggin' rip it off. Oh, America. That's pure brute strength. All right. These are 100 proof Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey finished with toasted Mizunara oak staves. All right. More toasted stuff. I will put an orange sticker on its Bourbon Night blend because Orange you jealous with all of their success. Yes, I am. All right. And then, so I have 2 blends there. Wheel of Confusion. Da da freaking da. Spinning your own. No, don't get too rushed. When you're rushed, you do things terribly. Take them off, not knowing which one is which. The reason I'm doing it blind is because I got a sheet of paper. That's not it. Son of a bitch. Where did the sheet of paper go? I had a Dark Arts sheet of paper. That's not it. Basically, Dark Arts said that it's Bourbon Night and Bourbon Junkies both did a blend. They're finished in Mizunara toasted barrels. They wanted to find out which one was better, or like to a, I mean, you know what I mean? That's what we're doing. So, glass 1, glass 2. Do they each have the same barrels to choose or they pick from? Who knows? Are they kind of cold in my hands a little bit? Do I wish they were warmer? Yeah. Do I wish I had the sheet of paper handy that told me exactly what was going on here? Totally. Oh my gosh, I know what to do. I took a picture of the sheet. So the picture of the sheet is what was it saying? Oh, took a picture. There it is. Man, I'm smart. We're excited to invite you to be part of something special from Dark Arts. Dark Arts Whiskey House. It's a challenge unlike any other. That's their words. As we unveil our Kentucky Toasted Mizunara Bourbon, two forces have stepped into the alchemist's circle. All right. Listen, you know I don't dislike a bunch of buzzwords. I love buzzwords. As a matter of fact, Doc Swinson told me that they put more buzzwords on their label because I said I loved buzzwords. Hand-selected, rare release. Doc Swinson was like, let's kick it up a notch. It's kind of what this letter is, just a bunch of friggin' buzzwords, and I dig it. They're challenged to discern the best barrel combinations to create something extraordinary. Their methods were their own. The results now rest in your hands. My tiny little mat hands. Enclosed, you'll find two enigmatic bottles. Now the ritual begins. Enigmatic. No, I don't even know what that means. That's the word that's over my head. Taste the blends. I can do that. And uncover the truth hidden within. I don't know what that is, but we will do that. We'll uncover the truth. Select the winning alchemy and share your revelation with your audience. I really love this. Every other word is a word I would never use until now. Now they're buried deep inside my ADHD whiskey friggin'. Whatever word means the words you know. Post your review and tag us at Dark Arts Whiskey using Battle of the Blends and hashtag Kentucky Toasted Mizunara. This is more than a contest. It's a quest to reveal which blend truly captures the spirit of Dark Arts. The results will be yours to reveal. Should you require anything more, simply reach. Okay. So the blend, small batch blend, so it's a 3-barrel blend, 100 proof. They each yielded 600 to 750 bottles average. 64 corn, 24 rye, 12 malted barley. Non-age dated, but contains 4 to 5-year-old whiskey. Originally distilled in Danville, Kentucky. Danville. Finished with toasted Mizunara oak staves from Japan. My question is, before I even get started, which I should have actually reached out to Shook or Alves or Chad or Sarah, did they blend these before did they blend them before finishing, or were they finished barrels that they were blending? Because that can make a difference. When you're blending something that's yet to be finished, you don't really have a say on the final product. If you are blending finished barrels, then you do have a say on the final product. Does that make sense? If you're blending something to completion and you're like, this is exactly what it's going to taste like, then that's your doing. If you blend something and then they're finished, that's completely different. That's like, you never have the ability to say when. For example, my 4-gate blend turned out awesome. I loved it. But it was possible 4 ounces distillate Kentucky bourbon, 8 years old, I think, that was finished in port barrels. But the barrel not port barrels, but California red wine barrels is what they're finished in. But the barrel I chose was just the standard bourbon barrel before finishing. So, like, after you pick the barrel, like you're concerned with, oh my gosh, like what's the outcome gonna be? Like what's it gonna taste like after finishing? That'd be my question. Did you say they suck the winning alchemy? No, I said pick the winning alchemy. I think you picked the winning alchemy, Chris. Buzzwords, buzz. There's so many. Uncover the hidden truth within. Select. Yeah. I got new teeth in my face. Sometimes select sounds like suck. Here we go. Is a Brewbaker Maker here? Dude, what's up? The Brewbaker Maker himself. I hope you're doing great. I hope you're doing awesome. I miss you guys. All right, let's find out. There's this, and Squirrel Job. Give it a little SJ. 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 They're both very similar. Very similar. I would say based off the noses, the nose is extremely similar. They're very fruit cup forward with like a heavy heavy peach fruit cup forward or heavy like apricot fruit cup forward, like not much of a cherry fruit cup, but the other flavors. This glass is a bit stronger in that category. This glass is a bit lighter. It's like this one has, like if it were built off of if it were a concentrate and you added drops of concentrate to a base or whatever. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but this is more concentrated than this, basically. Weirdly enough, a strange root beer barrel note, or like a cola candy. You know how the cola candies don't necessarily taste like cola, but they have like this own note to them. It's kind of like a cola candy. But they're both very bright and kind of sharp. They're both very pointed. It's not like a relaxed, delicate sweet nose. They're very like, when maybe aggressive is the right word or not the right word, but it's very like, they're like kind of jacked up in a pointed way. If you were on Naked and Afraid and you found yourself in the woods with a strange naked neighbor who was also competing to survive several days, multiple weeks in the woods, totally naked, for money, and you needed to build a shelter. This would be, well, no, not going to say that. Instead of it being like you found yourself a nice rounded cave, this is more like a lean-to. Like you built yourself a lean-to, and it's got a nice jagged top to it. It's pointed. It's more of a, you crawl inside and you have headroom, whereas some whiskeys are more like cavitured. They're more like not concave, but concave, probably. You go in and there's like a rounded roof. It's not a rounded roof whiskey. It's a pointed, more jagged, sharp roof whiskey. And you have mosquitoes biting your balls. Oh, man. There's some berries coming here too. Maybe a little bit of a raspberry, a little bit of a cold raspberry note. Man, these smell like super close. If there were a way for me to like track these glasses and me saying which one I think is better and then I mix them up without knowing which one they were and then smell them again and say which one is better, I don't know if I would agree with myself in just one mix up. I'm not that confident in it. I think that they're both very similar. So let's put them down the hatch to find out which batch I think deserves something that rhymes with batch. That's good. Light. Ooh. Oh. Wow. Okay. So the jaggedness on the nose, the sharpness, the abrasiveness, like the pointedness on the palate is like not there. On this my left hand glass. That one is like almost the opposite. It's delicate. Is it because I just was tasting 140 proof stuff from 13th century? Possibly. But even knowing that this is 100 proof, there's a part of me that was expecting it to hit the palate kind of like just based off the nose, like a tinge of like wickedness where you're like, ooh. Not the case at all. Very subtle, sweet, light fruitiness, kind of like a puree of various like whitish fruits, like pears and shit. That was nice. That was okay. Second sip of this, then I'll get to the other glass. Ooh. There's a very specific note up front, and I don't know what it is. It's not common, but the best part is it's not brash. It's like bubbly, soft, and it kind of like, if you can imagine a slow motion camera of something that's like slow, like boy, how do I want to even? It's like it covered the tongue and then like slowly like it's like damn it. You know those like crash test dummy videos where the car is driven into the wall at an excessive speed, and when you watch it, you watch the front of the car like drive itself into the back seat, but in super slow motion. It's like it's a whole process. That's kind of what happened with the flavor on the front of this whiskey. Like in slow motion, the flavor of the front of the palate like rushed over the entire tongue to the back of the palate, but and then like kind of retracted. But like one of those crash test on my videos. If I were to sip it again, I would make like the head motion just to emphasize it. But there's a really unique flavor that kind of slowly like takes over the palate and then releases. And it is really good. On the nose, I was not sure. On the palate, hell yeah. Is this glass going to do the same thing? Probably not. How could it? The nose is so not what I want. Ooh, sort of the same thing. It's sort of the same thing. Maybe a little brighter on this blend, a tad brighter, a tad more Mizunara finish. I get more of a toasted oak on this one, more of like a finished oak. More of that toasted profile comes out in the second glass than the first. But the palate is surprising. Based off the nose, the palate is very surprising. Okay, one more sip of this, then one more sip of the first one. Then we'll determine which one I think is better. Ooh. Second sip of this is a bit more like it hits different than the first sip of it. It's not as bright. It's just different. It's more of a damp. It's like a damp note. Like wet barrel. A wet barrel note there. Enjoyable. First glass one more time. Huh. I wonder what would have happened if I tasted the second glass first. They're both so similar. They're both very good, but very, very similar. I think that the first glass I tasted was a bit softer and not quite as much of the finished profile that I typically dislike. I don't dislike either of these. I think these are both very good. The second glass has a bit more of that like barrel-y influence, the secondary barreled influence. The first glass is a bit softer and doesn't quite have as much of that. So I think the first glass I tasted is by a slim margin. Like this is nowhere. Like if I tasted these tomorrow, and I'm not joking, this is me basically saying I don't know what I'm talking about, but at the same time saying every single day shit varies, right? If I actually did this, if I tell you which one I think is my favorite now, and then I mixed them up and did it again, I'm not sure if I would pick the same one. Meaning that this comparison, this A and B is very close. But in this tasting, it might just be because I tasted it first. But I think the first glass I tasted is my favorite by a slight margin. They're both very good. I think that based off of what I smelled, the palate is freaking phenomenal compared to the nose. The nose, I was not sure. I was like, this is going to be a different type of, like, this is going to be a harsh, sharp whiskey. Then I tasted it and I was like, holy shit, this is not that. This is, it went from a grizzly bear that you encountered face to face, and it was like, and you were like, fuck, then somehow you stabbed it to death. It went from the face to face encounter, pardon my language, mother with a grizzly bear, to the soft grizzly bear rug that's now in your living room. You never expected it to turn out like that. You thought that you'd probably be eaten alive and that you would be shat out into the ground. Been fertilizer for maybe some like flowers or something. But no, somehow, some way, turned out the other way, where the grizzly bear was a rug and you lay on it and nuzzle your face into it. It's super soft. That's the way this worked out. First glass is my favorite by marginal points. And it is, damn it, quit dinging at me. Orange. Which one was orange? Orange. Which was the other color? Green. Crap. Anybody? Orange? Which one was orange? Enveloped? Oh boy. It's bad. I'm a half hour past where I should be. Not concave, but convex. I don't even know if I know the word convex exists, Chris, but I'm not sure if it's the right word. By the way, I remember, it's funny because what did little Barry say? I went to high school with a girl named Alchemy. Yeah, I bet you did. By high school, you mean freaking. Never mind. I bowl. I was in a bowling league with my wife, and then the guy who won the friggin' Powerball that I was telling you about, and his daughter. Turns out my wife started working this midnight shift at the nursing home, so she had to bow out. She got replaced with another girl who I was told I was not allowed to fall in love with, and I haven't. And then the guy who won the Powerball hurt his shoulder and his knee and needs surgery, so he was out. And then he got replaced by a kid named Nolan. Freaking Nolan. Anyway, where was I going with this? Crap. I had a point. Shit. I'm not quite sure. Feel like I should remember where I was going with that. No idea. That's the brain. Anyway, I bet it shook and lurched all over the church. Oh, noise. Tony Bag of Donuts, freaking $5 super chat. Thank you, Tony. Hey, great Portsky. Chad has just informed me they chose from 6 finished barrels to make the blend. Cheers to the madness coming next week. Thank you, Tony. That's incredible that you just picked that. Like, you just freaking did that. You found out. So they did pick from 6 finished barrels. That makes sense. That's the way I would like to do it. It's hard picking from 6 barrels that weren't finished to then be finished and then put your name on it. That's hard. Would you rather own 10 million right now or go back to age 10? Oh, no, you really know. Well, there's I have no idea. 10 million sounds great. It depends on the person. I don't have enough faith in my brain to be able to use that knowledge to the best of my abilities, to be honest. That's just being fair and knowing my limitations and my capabilities. And if I were going to be completely honest with you, let me say this. Am I smart enough to use all of the knowledge I've acquired and then go back to age 10 and use that knowledge to be a friggin' gangster, a friggin' baller, like the best in the world, friggin' goated status? Do I have the capabilities via smartness? Am I smart enough to do that? Yes. Do I have the ability, the outgoingness and the other things that are needed to pull it off? I'm smart enough, sure, I think. But there are things that I don't have that would prevent me from utilizing that knowledge and smartness to the best of my abilities. Therefore, I'd say $10 million right now. For sure. I'd go back to 10 to make way more and get another 40 years back. Oh, yeah, dude, I'd get another 40 years back. That'd be sweet. Nolan Bowling. Green was Bourbon Junkies. So Green came in second place, which barely second place. That's Hazmat and ADHD kicking in. Orange was Bourbon Junkies. My mom says orange was Bourbon Junkies. And Kyle says green was Bourbon Junkies. Wow, who do I believe? My sober mom? She might have had wine. It's Friday. My wife started working midnights and shifted to bowling. Well, no, my wife started working midnights was part of the bowling story. Oh, well, I don't know. So it looks like it's Bourbon Night. Blend edged it out. But that doesn't necessarily mean that would be the case for everyone, because why it pulled it out was the lack of the double barreledness, which in some people's eyes or palates or tongues would be the beneficial thing. They'd love the double barreledness. So, but just through my eyes, the lack of double barreled flavor profile that's in the first glass, it's bourbon night blend, that's what makes it better to me. And if I were to do it tomorrow, would I choose differently? Possibly. They're very close. They're very similar. And I think, if I saw correctly, they're not very expensive. I'm not sure how they're being sold. They might be in some stores. They might be on Bourbon Outfitter. I'm not quite sure. But I think the price tag I saw on them are like $70. And if that's the case, I'd buy both because they're both super good. 100 proof. Did it say 5-year whiskey? That's really good for 5-year whiskey, if that's the case. I dig it. That might be my first dark arts experience. I don't know if I've had anything else from dark arts before. I'm racking my brain as we speak. Maybe 1 or 2 samples, possibly, but nothing I remember. But I enjoy that a lot. And friggin' Mizunara, huh? Brendan Schaub, right? Orange, you jealous of bourbon night? Oh yeah, that's right. The guy who won the lottery? No, that was just part of the bowling story. I don't know where I was going with that. I think if I rewatched this, and I probably would understand like where I was going with it, but it just slipped my mind. And the funny thing is, as it slipped my mind, I thought it won't. I'll remember it, and then I didn't. No idea. That's funny. That's the way the cookie crumbles. That's the way it works. This time tomorrow, I will be in friggin' Bourbon, Missouri. I will be probably drenched in a downpour of rain. Did I pack all white t-shirts? Not yet, because I'm only half packed. And I haven't packed my shirts yet, but that is the plan, to pack all white t-shirts and all white T-bottoms so that by the time I get from the airport to the car, I'm completely see-through. And they'll make everybody uncomfortable. That's not true. But it is true that it's supposed to rain there a lot. I read that on the Weather Channel. It's supposed to rain there a bit. Do I have an umbrella? Nope. Do I own anything that will cover me from rain? No. So luckily I wear black t-shirts, and black t-shirts will only suction to my body as they get wet. They won't be see-through, they'll just be suction-y. It's kind of what I'm going for, is a suction look. That's going to do it for this live stream. Been fun. I went 40 minutes longer than I said I was going to with my wife. She's going to be mad. It's not necessarily my fault, but at the same time, it's totally my fault. And I'm sorry. But next Friday is, it's been a long time coming. Over a year in the making. Oh man, I'm so pumped. Matt Madness season 4. First season, Grease. Second season, Cameron. Third season, Shook. Who will be the champion in season 4? Matt Madness 2025 kickoff starts next Friday, April 11th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific. It's going down. It's going down in the DMs, whatever that means. Teach Arlena member for 42 months. Holy shit. Let's get excited for Matt Madness 2025. Lake Fork guy, he says. I'm pumped. Give Jared and Rachel our love. I will. I'll give them my love, and if there's any time left, I'll give them your love. If you got it, flaunt it, Matt. Dude, Chris, I'm so excited that you're like, I can't even explain. For the last 3 years, that's all I've wanted. That's not all I've wanted. I wanted a lot. But if everything feels right again, everything feels so good. Now that Chris Bourbon Sane is back in chats, dude, makes my day. It honestly makes my day. Dude, I'm so excited. And I can't wait to find out what you did to all your farm animals. shotgun? Probably not. Chris is more, he's a pharmacist, so he probably choked him to death. Go to sleep. Right, I'm out of here. Love you guys so much. See you next Friday. Will there be videos before next Friday? Yeah, 2 of them. Look out for those. But Matt Madness is back. Love you guys. See you next Friday. Big kisses, big hugs. Do my shiny pants and shiny shirt fit me anymore? No. But I'll try. I'll try to fit into them. Good night.